Case People versus Daryl Jarrell.
Good afternoon, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Jarrell. Please state your name.
Daryl. Okay. And where are we on his case?
Your Honor, we have not had contact prior to today. I think the number we have for you is
I don't have a phone. So whoever gave you a number, it was invalid.
Okay, so I'll need to figure out a way to get in touch with him so we can go over the case together.
So are there two separate? Got it. So you guys are gonna be trying to figure out a way to make contact with each other, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I say that is let me just do this. Let me give you a little bit of time so that I'm gonna turn this out to September 4th, 2024, 9 a.m.
What's the holdup?
Oh.
It's trespassing.
Pardon?
I don't understand what the holdup is. It's trespassing.
What do you mean what the holdup is?
This is it's an arraignment, right? Or a preliminary exam?
No. You're not charged with a felony, so it's not a preliminary examination.
Right.
You were arraigned in this on July 24th.
Mm-hmm.
They set this date. Your attorney hasn't been able to talk to you about the cases at all.
Okay.
So I'm trying to I can set it for 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
But the problem.
I'm tired of the state. I'm ready to leave this state as soon as possible. It's trespassing. I could technically leave and you guys could issue a warrant as long as I don't return. You can kiss my ass. This is
you know what? No. I'm gonna tell you what. You don't come in here. You don't.
Fuck you.
Okay. That's contempt. That's 93. Keep going.
Fuck you.
That's another
Fuck you
93.
again.
That's another 93.
Fucking game.
That's another 93. That's another 93. That's 6 93s consecutive.
Yep. Okay. Go. Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go. All right, court is calling 2019 CR 8173, State of Texas versus Amanda Lawson. Can I have parties announced for the record? For the state.
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Ray Lopez, Your Honor.
And are you Amanda Lawson?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Amanda Nicole Lawson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 8173 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on November 14, 2019 for a period of 4 years and extended for a total of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 5 in Burke County, Texas. The defendant Amanda Nicole Lawson, who did in there fail to report the supervision officer as directed for the month of October 2022.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated condition.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Stand that, but I'm in hopes that you'll hear me out.
No, my question is, did you understand that? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
State, what are you requesting?
Revocation, Your Honor.
Defense.
We're requesting that she be placed back on probation, and my client would like to testify to give her reasons to the court.
All right, if you can raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Your name is Amanda Lawson.
All right, and what would you like to say?
Miss Boyd, because you gave me a second chance 2 years ago, I went to Grace House and I changed my life. I've been sober for 2 years. I was released from Grace House because I had a surgery and I had to go home and take care of my family. I've been doing nothing but going to work and going home. I was scared. I understand that being on the run for 2 years is bad, but I was scared that I was about to lose everything that I just worked really hard for because of the way it changed in my life. And I'm just hoping that you'll believe in me one more time.
All right, this is your second motion to revoke. And what I do know is that each time when persons appear before me, I ask them if there's anything that the court can do. Do they need anything so they can be successful? And I know that I tell people, if there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. So you've been here before. You were placed on probation in 2019. And then you came back in 2021 and you pled true to a violation of condition number 1, which is a new offense. And then the court altered and amended your conditions and continued you. And then now we're here and nobody has seen you since 2022.
Scared. I was at home. I was taking care of my family.
Why don't you pick up the phone and call probation?
I was scared. I can't have no excuse for that, Ms. Boyd.
Okay.
I was scared to lose everything I've just worked so hard for. My grandma is 75 and my grandpa is 95, and I have my kids back in my life. I have a relationship with them now. I've been sober since Grace House. I haven't worked so hard for something. It would just destroy me to lose it again and start over.
All right, so these are choices you made.
Yes, I understand that.
You made the choice not to report.
I understand that. I'm just hoping you'll believe in me one last time.
All right. Any questions?
She said all.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to grant the motion. The court is finding you guilty. Does anyone want to speak with regards to punishment? State?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's requesting 16 months state jail.
Yeah, we're requesting the minimum. He has 166 days in. We also have some credit for the time she served and.
All right. So what I can tell you, Ms. Lawson, the state is requesting 16 months. I had internalized everything you said. And actually, what the court was going to do was sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility. But the state is requesting 16 months. So I'm going to sentence you to 16 months in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, you were given chances. And in this court, I don't know how other courts do it, but in this court, it is better to ask for permission than forgiveness. All you had to do was pick up the phone and call your probation officer and say, this is what's going on in my life. And if they did not address it, you know what you could have done? You could have come back to this court, come back to me, and I would have figured out what was going on. But for you to behave as though you were not on probation, that's a problem. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Court is calling 2024 CR 3364, State of Texas versus Julexis Brown. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state.
Defense?
Valerie Hetland for Alexis Brown.
And are you Miss Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of abandoning a child with intent to return as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yeah.
According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication and you're to follow any and all CPS directives. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So with regards to following any and all CPS directives, as someone who's practiced on the CPS side, I think that may be overly broad and it may potentially interfere with the representation that her attorney has. So maybe if y'all just said CPS compliance.
Absolutely, Your Honor. We're happy to make that notation.
And just for the record too, the CPS case was only investigation. It didn't go to the 252. It didn't go to family base and it was closed.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be a problem.
And I'm just asking if they put CPS compliance, because if you have a CPS attorney or they become involved in this case on that side, they may want you to do specific things. or have objections to specific things? You're welcome.
Authorization.
Judge, I had to move the stanchion up because I'm not as thin as I used to be.
All right, and then so there's to be CPS compliance if applicable. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states 1 and attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just, Judge, she regrets, she understands what she did was wrong. There's no minimizing what happened. She was going to the store to get diapers. It was late at night, right before they were going to close. There's some disputes among the times in the report on how long she was gone. She did have a nanny cam there, not to excuse the risk that she put her baby in, but her daughter was asleep. She was watching her on the nanny cam, came back. And there's also some custody child support issues. So the husband or the ex, her daughter's father had been there at the house waiting for her to leave, and then he had called the police, Judge. So she's not here to make any excuse for what happened, and definitely knows better.
How old was your child when you left?
She was 3.
Okay, so you left a 3-year-old by themselves at night. And the guy that you're living with, what is his relationship to you?
He's basically just my boyfriend right now.
He's your boyfriend.
Fiance, but
So your fiance boyfriend, according to the stipulations, you left to go get diapers?
she was on her last diaper.
No, I need to say yes or no.
Yes.
All right, so you go to get diapers and your boyfriend, Adam Hernandez, does he love you?
Yes, ma'am.
Does he love your child?
Yes.
Then why does it take 2 people to go get diapers and leave a 3-year-old unattended?
There's no.
There is, I mean,
Yeah.
she does have.
No, tell me why. I want her to tell me.
Explain the.
Like, why? Why would 2 adults who claim to love a 3-year-old leave a 3-year-old by themselves while they went to the grocery store or wherever store they went to get diapers? Why does it take 2 adults to go do that?
If I go by myself, I get harassed wherever I go. I know that's no excuse, but the HB that I was living at nearby, there was a guy that.
So why couldn't he go?
Because we just didn't have enough money. The coupon expired after that night.
So
and-
I don't understand. You don't have enough money
Yes, ma'am.
and the coupon was going to expire.
Yes.
So there are 2 adults. Why does it take 2 adults to go pick up an item from a store? I don't understand.
So, if he would have gone, he would have not used the coupon. We wouldn't have had enough money. I mean.
Well, so let me just tell you the choices that you're making. You had a choice. Leave my 3-year-old by herself. Maybe the apartment's complex is going to catch a fire. Maybe somebody's just walking down the street and they notice a 3-year-old and they're like, oh, this would be a great 3-year-old to come take. So that's what you were looking at. And then on the other hand, I can save money by using a coupon. And you chose a coupon. And how much money did you get off for that coupon?
It was like $10 off.
All right, so you had a choice and you chose to save $10 over potentially something horrible happening to your child. That's basically what you did.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I still don't understand. And CPS, they do their own thing sometime. I still don't one, I don't understand why this wasn't a legal case. And two, still don't understand why you have two adults in a household and they decide it takes two people to go pick up diapers and you all are leaving a 3-year-old by themselves. And not only are y'all leaving them by themselves, in the police report, it says the door was locked and it's a reverse lock. So 3-year-old is locked in a room and the only persons who can open that door are the two adults.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to unpack that suitcase in a little bit, but I'm still back to the point. I don't know if she understands the danger. And I don't know if the CPS worker stressed the danger that her 3-year-old was in by two grown adults acting as though one person can't go to the grocery store by themselves. Are you even internalizing how that sounds?
Yes, ma'am. I know it's.
You all can leave a 3-year-old by themselves, but you all adults can't go to a grocery store by yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why is it that there are reverse locks in that place?
When we moved in, the locks were on the other side. And when she was younger, she was able to touch it when she was growing up. And one time she locked herself in there. So we were scared. My fiance was able to open it. And from there on out, we decided to switch it around because we didn't want her locking herself in her room. She was getting curious. She was walking and talking and.
That's what 3-year-olds do. They walk and they talk.
Yes, ma'am.
So when that officer came to that location, front door is locked and that bedroom door is locked. Yeah, and it was locked. So the 3-year-old can't get out. So let's say there's a fire that happened. Guess what? Number one, nobody's going to know the 3-year-old is there. Maybe the 3-year-old stays asleep. And the 3-year-old, if they have the wherewithal to try to get out of their room because there's a fire, they can't get out because you and your fiance have reversed the locks.
It was for her safety, Your Honor.
No, that's not for her safety. Let me ask you, do you all have reverse locks on your doors?
No, ma'am.
But it would be for your safety.
I just didn't want her locking in herself in her room anymore. That's what scared me.
All right, and let's move on to your boyfriend, Adam Hernandez. How well do you know him?
Very well, ma'am.
What does that mean? How long have you known him?
We've been together for 3 years.
For 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is your daughter? 3.
She's 4 now.
All right, but she was 3 then?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that you went from one relationship to the other. If your daughter is 3 years old and he's not is he the biological father of the 3-year-old?
He's the one that stepped up.
All right, so you went from one relationship, you have a 3-year-old, and then you're in a relationship, lickety split, with some other guy. And this is a 3-year-old daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Adam Hernandez, did you do a background check?
No.
All right. Do you know if he has any criminal history?
He doesn't.
How do you know?
I mean, just because he's told me everything he's done in his past, everything that he's gone to court for, so nothing on his record.
Oh, gone to court for what?
Well, he's been charged with as judge.
All right. And what else? So you're just taking him at his word.
He's from.
And have you talked to any of the previous girlfriends, or if he's been married before, have you talked to them to find out why the relationship broke down?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you talked to his previous girlfriends.
His crazy ex-girlfriend, yes, ma'am. She was harassing
Crazy
me.
ex-girlfriend. See, you know what? I will tell you from what I've noticed in this world, there's always the crazy ex-girlfriend, the crazy ex-boyfriend. And you don't become the crazy ex-girlfriend or the crazy ex-boyfriend until the relationship ends. Then they go to the next person, and guess what? That person says, oh, she's the crazy ex-girlfriend. Let me just tell you, I don't think you've done your research to have this person in your life and trusting him with your daughter. I can't do anything about that. That's all on you. Probation, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. How far did you go in school?
I'm sorry.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated high school now.
All right, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Hopefully owning a business one day.
All right, so what are you doing to make that happen?
Right now, I'm just waiting for my daughter to start pre-K, just so I don't have to stay at home and watch her anymore.
All right. CPS compliance. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And probation, please check on the 3-year-old and check the locks on the interior doors. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once parenting classes are completed, 100 hours will be waived. The remaining 100 hours will be waived if you obtain some higher level of education or if you're in trade school. Probation, is there anything else? Yes, regular random UAs. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Mhm.
All right, we're going to go off the record. You need to start putting your child first. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I've been doing that ever since the day. I
All right,
got
because
arrested.
3-year-old can't take care of themselves. 3-year-old is 100% dependent upon you. And do not bring random people in your child's life unless you've done a background check. This is what sometimes parents don't understand. You know this guy. She doesn't know him. You're bringing a complete stranger in your child's life. That needs to stop. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you have any questions about anything, let probation know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right.
Nakia Lewis is called in 8-3609. There's no answer in the courtroom. I asked the bailiff to call into the hall for Nakia Lewis. There was a motion to revoke probation filed on that about 100 years ago or so. No, maybe 6 years ago, but this was always a restitution issue, right?
Yes, sir.
Nakia Lewis? Yes, ma'am, I recognize you. Okay, we are here once again for a review of status here. Your probation, which was granted 16 years ago, is still pending because of money that was owed in the whole mess as a restitution. Where are we on that?
Well, Your Honor, she did make a payment in May of $300. It went toward restitution. Her balance of restitution now is $8,636.
I want to know how much has been paid in the last 12 months.
$300. The last payment prior to that was April of 22. And there has been some updates that don't pertain to the restitution. It's happened since the last update.
For a whole year? That's it? I want to, okay.
Been homeless for most of the time, trying to maintain a job, keep up with bills. It's been hard.
Welcome to the real world. It's hard for all of us. But there are,
Never easy for me.
ma'am, it's not, look, you're not special. It's not easy for anybody. But I bore you with the day I turned 16, I got 3 jobs. I had 3 jobs through law school. I went to work the day I turned 16 for 80 cents an hour. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. I paid my way through school with 3 jobs and I went to law school. 3 jobs and law school. If I can do it, anybody can do it because I'm not special, but I just had a desire to be independent. So don't tell me about I can't find a job or I can't make money. I'm sorry. You can pay this off, but you haven't been paying enough as far as I'm concerned. And you're looking at 10 years in prison. That's what this is all about because you're not paying. Well, we've been dealing with this for 16 years. It's time for a reckoning. I'm gonna have a hearing on this matter, on, what should be done next, because you have not done enough. Probation office, what do you want to say?
Well, Your Honor, since the last, it was brought to the court's attention in April of 23 over assault in Harris County. That was adjudicated as a death day in Harris County. She was given 9 days credit for time served for the assault. There was a new arrest in June of last month of possession of controlled substance in Montgomery County. That was actually she was given a deferred adjudication probation on July 22nd of a 2-year state jail.
Well, she's still technically on probation, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, can those be included with the motion?
That's that case I was talking
Can we, or can we not?
I don't believe that we can.
But she's still on probation, so if she's still on probation, if she commits violations of probation while she's on probation, even though it's been.
My understanding of that case is I cannot add it as additional violations.
Past the length of time, 10 years?
Yes, sir. The court would have to make a decision based upon the motion as it stands at this time. Now, in that regard, Judge, I will remind you that according to my notes, you held this in abeyance. You found that the item's true and you held all this abeyance all the way back in November of 2019. And because you did that, you have the ability at any point in time to revoke her and sentence her as you deem fit. But it has to be based upon the findings at that time and the motion and its status then. Well, Your Honor, I made that note in reference to one of the hearings that we held in 22. I determined that the date in which that was done was November 14th of 2019.
See, I would write it on the face of the document. And I see that there was failing to provide verification of performing community service hours, failing to pay court assessed fees, failing to adhere to the $4,000 payment with her income tax return, failing to adhere to the adjusted $100 a month. Those were the alleged violations, but I did not make any markings on the document.
It would have to be based upon a motion that was filed on June 19th, 2018. And it does include those items you were talking about, Your Honor.
Yeah, and I don't have any, I didn't make any notes on it, on the face, which I would normally do.
I'm aware that that's your practice, Your Honor. I'm just telling you what notes I've got. I can't speak to it.
But we can always go back in time.
Yes, sir. I unfortunately was not in your courtroom at that time. Otherwise, I would have more detailed
What
notes
does it
on my
show
files.
in probation? How much time does she have accrued on service of incarceration? 10 years is a long time.
I don't know, I just clicked the wrong time.
When was the last time she presented you a job application?
The last job.
Because she was ordered back in 2022 to turn in 3 job applications a week because she has this consistent history of not trying to get work.
Yes. The last notes I have, she did present 10 job applications in November of 23, but I haven't had any since. She did say earlier before court that she has a job, but as far as the job application, she hasn't provided anything since.
What job do you have?
I just got hired at Great Clips,
Doing what?
the hairstylist.
Well, what does that mean? How much do you make is what we're interested in knowing. How much do you make?
$12.50 an hour.
What is remaining?
Now the remaining balance is $8,630.
What was it originally?
Originally it was $15,000.
What are you going to do about paying that difference? How much can you pay? A week or a month?
This new job is a weekly pay. I don't start till Monday. I literally just got hired.
When was the last time you had an income?
I currently haven't had an income. That's why he didn't get any more job applications because I was working.
Doing what?
Eyelash extensions for Amazing Lash Studio.
Well, how much were you making? What was your pay?
$15 an hour there.
Okay, so how much was paid in the last, when was the last time a single payment had been made?
The last payment was, May of this year. It was a $302 payment that went toward.
Before that,
Before that, it was April 21st of 2022.
2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Not one dime in 2 years?
No, sir.
And most of that time I was homeless.
What were you doing about getting jobs? You were supposed to be providing 3 jobs a week, is that right? 3 job applications a week.
Yes.
That wasn't being followed though, was it?
No, sir.
Well, that was ordered. Then that's another reason we can revoke her, right? It's your court orders that we have to make, the shame of it, we got to make court orders to get you to even try. We have to order you to try. That's just terrible. That's just terrible. These people who have been owed their money since 08. So when was she put on probation again?
2010.
2008.
There were competing.
About 2008 or in this one, 83609.
I'm sorry, Judge, you're right. July 14th, 2008.
And it's been 16 years. And what's the total amount she's paid?
The total amount toward restitution she's paid on her is $6,364.
Which comes out to about 400 a year average, which is about $1 a day. $1 a day. That's all you pay. Well, obviously, I think anybody would look at that and go, that's paltry. That's obviously there's no respect there for the poor people who were victimized. They're the ones being victimized again by you for your lack of effort to pay this back. I think we're going to have to go have a hearing. I think that she's had enough time. In fact, you've had more than almost anyone. I can't remember anyone else in all 17 years here, anyone else who has failed as miserably in this, which is all about an effort, a lack of effort. I've never seen anybody with such a lack of effort. That takes everybody. So I'm going to set this for a hearing in about 4 weeks, okay, for revocation, and just get ready and be prepared and just get ready because you're looking at up to 10 years. And right now you have failed miserably on this. That's all. Get a recess. What is this from Montgomery County here? What am I looking at here?
Is that on that case, Judge?
Yeah.
That's probably that new arrest.
Okay, for what? No.
Possession of controlled substance. Of course, I'm limited. I cannot add and present evidence on that, Judge.
Where is it you live anyway, ma'am? Where do you live? I'm talking to you. Where do you live?
In Houston.
Where? Give me an address, please.
116.
Okay, do you have that as her updated address?
No, sir. I have the last one I have was Kingswood. But she did tell me before court that she moved to Carolina.
We don't even know where you live. You're supposed to be updating this. How many things can you do wrong here? So, let me get this straight. You've been arrested now, charged with operating a motor vehicle and smoking marijuana. You said Nakia responded by stating she had smoked marijuana in the vehicle earlier. Really? On my watch? With all this problem, you're using drugs and driving around town? Is that right?
To work.
Is that right? You're using drugs? You admitted you did. This is how you fix your problem, right? Respond. Yes or no? Is this the proper way to deal with your issue?
For my mental, for me, yes.
Oh, committing crimes?
No.
It's good enough and you're going to drive a vehicle while you're high? A 4,000-pound missile? You think that's wise? What authority do I have to make her she's not doing anything else, but she's out and about in a vehicle while she's on this court's probation, and she's admitting to using marijuana in the vehicle.
And you can always address the bond if that's an issue.
You're a danger to other people. Gee whiz. It's just the flippant attitude you always seem to have when you come here. I just don't care. It's just that I don't care about it. That seems so flippant and just not fair to everybody else, especially people who are driving on the roadway who are worried about the next person who's going to act foolish in their vehicle like you.
Just she's currently on a PR bond.
All right, do you have prescriptions for all of these different pills that they took from you when you were arrested?
I have for one.
Inside the bottle was 1 sertraline hydrochloride, 2 metronidazolone pills, 4 gray pills with a thumbs up impression. Oh, I'm sure that's from a legitimate manufacturer. An orange pill in the shape of a shield with a Barcelona soccer team impression. A red piece of pill with a similar shape and impression as the orange pill. A partial white pill. When you were asked what the pills were, you said tabs for when you are depressed. I was able to identify these pills as probably being ecstasy, MDMA. Next tested the orange pill. These all showed positive for ecstasy, MDMA. You were arrested and booked in for illegal possession of controlled substances. Do you have prescriptions for all those? All of those?
Not all of them.
I didn't think so. Her bond is a personal recognizance now. I'm sorry, you're going to have, there are conditions of bond that you're going to have to meet for me that you obviously are not meeting anymore. And that is, you're going to have a drug patch as a condition of bond. And what else does the state recommend here?
What were the conditions you?
I said just drug patch so far. What else?
I think that addresses the big concern from that and the other charge. And that obviously personal reconnaissance, that allows people to take care of the business. It needs to be some financial amount.
You're going to be on home confinement. You can go to and from work, to and from. Do you live alone?
No.
Who do you live with?
My son.
Okay. To and from work, to and from, does he go to school?
Yes.
To and from getting into school, to and from medical needs, to and from getting food. But you're going to have home confinement, and you're going to have a GPS device so I know where you are at all times. But I'm not going to raise your bond. But these are terrible things that, and I'm going to bring, those all have to be accomplished in, you got 48 hours to get that done. And I need proof of it. Failure to provide the probation officer proof, you will be arrested. I will send a warrant, and then you will have to post a monetary bond, which will be obviously high, that you would have probable trouble to comply with. I'd rather not do that. So you need to get those things taken care of. You got 48 hours to do that, man. Also, I want you back here in 2 weeks want to thank the probation office for all your patience on this.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. Jay is an absolute joke. An interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself something.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed, we're gonna start bringing people in person. You're gonna learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it? Okay.
Come and go so fast. I'm the one that needs a drink.